and let us all do we can to build a better future.
I don't even know how to describe this because it's probably the craziest thing I ever had to cover on this show. And it's maddening. Maddening in a way that we have to talk about this. So let's get started. Well, it turns out Mars is attacking, maybe, or Venus, or Neptune, or the dangerous things from Uranus. Apparently, no signs of aliens or extraterrestrial activity with shot down objects. So, the White House on Monday dismissed speculation that there may be an extraterrestrial component to recent aerial objects shot down in the U.S. airspace in recent days. Oh, God. They shot down the Navigator. They shot down E.T.'s family. What have we done? There's no indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity with these recent takedowns, said Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who told reporters at a briefing. It was important for us to say that out from here because we've been hearing a lot about it. You know what? Watch. There's going to be more of these UFO, quote unquote UFOs, and one of them is going to actually be a real saucer. It's going to land down at the United Nations. There's going to be 3 aliens walking out, say, "Hey, everybody, listen, you've been shooting down a lot of our aircraft, and we want to know why before we vaporize your planet. And plus, hey, we're looking for 3 missing people. They were flying around this area called Roswell, New Mexico. Where are they at?" You know, if something like that happens, I'm willing to bet to both the Russian ambassador and the Chinese ambassador and be like, "Hey, America, that's your neck of the woods. What happens at Area 51? What's going on there?" So Glenn D. Van Herrick, a commander of Pentagon's Northern Command, made waves on Sundays when he was asked if officials had ruled out the possibilities that the objects taken down over the weekend were connected to extraterrestrials. I'll let the intel community and counterintelligence community figure that out. I haven't ruled out anything at this point. The Biden-Harris administration officials had provided limited details about the 3 objects taken down over the weekend, in part because the weather and the way they were taken down had made it difficult to recover the objects. The U.S. on Friday shot down an object at 40,000 feet over Alaskan airspace after it posed a reasonable threat to a civilian flight safety. The military on Saturday shot down another unidentified cylindrical object over the frozen territory in northern Canada. Hey, Canada, come on. I know you got an Air Force. You letting us fly in your airspace? What's going on? On Sunday, the military shot down an unidentified object over Lake Huron. Hey, Lake Huron. Last I checked, doesn't that lake, isn't it near, I don't know, the state called Ohio, and there's like a train derailment that's taking place there? I don't know. Hey, let's just put that in the little portfolio for the time being and ignore it for a while. Continuing on, I want to pull up this video here where, again, let's look at these jagoff journalists actually have this conversation about ET. Aliens. Aliens have landed, my friends.
My understanding is that the top officials of the Pentagon, when asked explicitly if they were ruling out any kind of extraterrestrial presence, said they weren't ruling anything out. And yet at the beginning of today's briefing, albeit with her usual winning smile, Ms. Jean-Pierre seemed to rule out any extraterrestrial activity.
I don't think the American people need to worry about aliens with respect to these craft, period. I don't think there's any more that needs to be said there.
So either 2 things are going on here. Either one, there are aliens, and they're flying their little saucers all over the United States. Hey, after 2020, anything's possible. Use your imagination, folks. Come on, after 2020 and all the stuff that we saw, come on. Let's be very clear here. I mean, I'm willing to say, okay, if what we saw in 2020 can go down, anything's possible. Anything's possibly possible. So there you go. But another thing too to really bring up, and this is something else, and it's probably option 2. The United States is shooting at things. Things are being shot down from the sky, but what? Is it another Chinese weather balloon? Is it, oh, God forbid, it's actually a civilian aircraft that was wrongly identified? It could happen. And it's not the first time something stupid happened. Hey, but let's listen to the press secretary talk about ET as well. Because after all, this is what's right now garnering a lot of attention, despite the fact that there's a Chernobyl taking place in Ohio.
I know there have been questions and concerns about this, but there is no indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity with these recent takedowns. Again, there is no indication of aliens or terrestrial activity with these recent takedowns. Wanted to make sure that the American people knew that, all of you knew.
Okay, yeah, sure. And by the way, look, whatever is going on, this has to be, again, another example of classic distraction, but we've seen stuff like this before, a major overreaction. I mean, somebody wrote in the live stream chat, remember the Battle of Los Angeles? Yeah, no, it's not a movie, not just a movie. There was an actual situation in 1942. There was a Battle of Los Angeles where anti-aircraft weaponry was being fired at a quote-unquote flying object in the sky. Was it a UFO? Was it a secret squadron of Japanese Zero fighters ready to bomb an American city? Was it a weather balloon? Was it a civilian aircraft? Possibly a civilian aircraft. Again, just throwing it out there. I mean, let's face it, folks. It's not the first time there's been a massive overreaction. Hey, Democrats, great job with the whole, Russiagate and making people paranoid about everything and everyone. That's the world we live in. Madness and stupidity. So again, these three objects, again, not one, but tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row, were shot down over American airspace. Now, again, the first incident that took place was, again, that poor balloon that was shot down in South Carolina, the Chinese surveillance balloon. I mean, the United States does surveillance in other countries too, but I mean, hey, you can't do that to us. President Biden and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Saturday authorized the mission to take down that one object in Canadian territory. So again, this happened over Alaska, Canadian territory, and of course, Lake Huron as well. And I was wrong about the location. That's Lake Erie. There we go. Lake Erie is in Ohio. Lake Huron is above it, but it's by Michigan. So there you go, Michigan and Canada. Fantastic. Fantastic world we live in. Madness and paranoia, distraction. So let's have democracy in the chat. Let's actually have real democracy in the chat. Do you think there is an alien invasion, that ET wants to say hello to us? Type 3 if you think, these are UFOs and aliens. Type 4 if it's probably overreaction and politicians trying to distract us from more concerning issues like that train derailment in Ohio, or the amount of unchecked corruption that's happening in Washington, D.C., or the fact that once again, we're facing a massive inflation where it's impossible to even buy a carton of eggs. Seeing a whole lot of 4s here. Willa Black. You know what, Willa? I'm going to give you the final word for this segment. And you know what? I wouldn't be mad at the aliens if they did that. But that was a classic scene right there, and I loved it. Looking back at it as a kid, I was like, oh no. Looking at that scene as an adult, I'm like, oh yeah. Willa Black was the final word. Remember what the aliens did to Congress in Mars Attacks? We need something like that. That's just beautiful. And the old lady was laughing. Ha! They blew up Congress. And you know what? That's fine by me. Hey, aliens, listen, if you're going to do that, people might not condemn you. People might be cheering for you. All right. And I, for one, welcome our new alien overlords. Let's see. Yanda and Wadi says, not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens, man. Let's see. Ferocious Gustafson writes, there's no aliens, and they certainly aren't monitoring this chat. Hello. I really like that one scene from The Simpsons where Homer was sent into space and he accidentally broke the ant terrarium and the ants got loose and Kent Brockman screamed as soon as they saw the zoomed in face of an ant, and he said, "I for one welcome our new insect overlords." Illinois, game over, man. It's game over. Let's see. And Monarch, lesser of three evils, Kit. Lesser of the three evils. Yeah, Miguel H. Perfect timing for that reference. Yes, it is. So, hey, aliens. Aliens. If you're watching this, hey, we welcome you. And listen. Don't attack our cities. Don't attack our populated areas. Listen, we'll give you a list of politicians' names. You do that, we'll roll out the red carpet for you, and we'll love you for it. Trust me on it. This whole invasion plan that you got going, it might not go down the way you think. Maybe we'll just let you all in. Come on in. We'll show you who to go after. Okay, you'll be doing us a favor. So there you go. Because after all, seeing how our leaders treat us, the aliens might not be too bad. So there you go. And hey, you can also subscribe to Hard Lens Media too.